Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the GameCast NewsCast. I'm Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula. Joining me this week is Sully.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
We're back.
We're back. The newscast is back after quite a gap. It's been a while.
Has it?
Yeah, it's been ages since the last one. It has been... Let's look this up.
Well, you've been busy doing hardware reviews, news,
I've been
Christmas,
doing about
work.
a billion other things. The last newscast was in... Well, you were on it.
Oh, fuck. I don't remember the last time.
23rd of November, apparently, it was published.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're back.
A while. Yeah, it's been nearly 2 months. Holy shit. Yeah. I'm going to be honest.
Man.
You know, it's been busy for me. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. The newscast is back. And we'll start in the traditional way with Sully! What have you been playing this week?
Ooh.
You say nothing, I'm going to kill you.
No. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, but I'm trying to think of what else I've been playing. I think I've been
Yeah, I
playing
saw that. Have you
something
been
else.
playing
that's right.
Have you been playing Minecraft
Sorry?
with Kelsey?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Minecraft.
Yeah.
So, a lot. Also been playing via Gaming Pastimes recommendation after watching the review, the SVP3 mod for Halo CE PC. That's a tongue twister, be careful.
Yes.
Quite good, a very good mod. Yeah, it's quite good. It's I think you can kind of break it up into kind of three different aspects. Like, it kind of graphically overhauls the game, brings it up to kind of snuff for 2018 or 2019 now. Kind of brings consistency to the first game in the sense that it rolls in a lot of weapons and vehicles and enemies and armor abilities that are absent, obviously, from the first one, that are present in later games. And the third aspect is it creates entirely new play spaces. So it's a very good mod, and quite easy to get going. All you need is a copy of your Halo CE. You download the pack, you install it, and away you go. It's phenomenal. 12 years of work, apparently, that mod. So
Wow.
if you're a Halo fan, check that one out.
There we go.
By count, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Hades, the new Supergiant Games game.
Ooh.
Yes, it's the one that launched in early access on the Epic Games Store.
So you've been given the new store a whirl, huh?
I have. We will get onto the new store at some point during the show. Just FYI. Spoilers ahead. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, actually. It's a really good game. Yeah, it's slightly more expensive than I would have considered paying originally, but having played it, yeah, it's still pretty good. They have reduced the price slightly, though, I've noticed, in the last week or so. Because I know when it came out, it was selling for £18, and I bought it for £15.50, and that's not like marked as a reduction; that's marked as the price. So they brought it down slightly in price because maybe some people complained, and I thought that was a decent enough price point for it, and I am enjoying it. It's a very interesting game. It's gorgeous because it's a Supergiant Games game. They are all gorgeous. The voice acting is mostly good. They have a very good habit of having like really silky voiced people doing like the voices in these games. Like the narrator is always like really sort of a nice deep baritone, but like a really nice one. And this is no exception here. The only issue I have with the voice acting is they're all doing, well, most of them are doing English accents, but you can tell a couple of them aren't English. Do you know what I mean? When you have an American do an English accent and they occasionally lose a word and they slip into like an American like way of saying it.
Is this game not tied into Greek mythology, or am I just completely off the
It
mark?
is, yes.
So why are they doing English accents?
I don't fucking know.
It's just the dev team's English?
No, the dev team's American.
What the fuck?
They're probably doing
very
English
confusing.
because it sounds more regal than I'm American. Oh my
So,
God, Hades hates everyone. He's such a miserable person.
So it's pretty much like your typical Hollywood movie running around with American accents in whatever mythology they're covering.
Well,
Like, do
yeah.
you remember? What was that? Sam Worthington movies. Line
Clash of
movies
the
with,
Titans?
Yeah, so you've got this Australian running around like with a poorly covered Australian accent. It's just like, what the fuck, man?
I think one of the few people to pull it off semi-well is Chris Hemsworth when he's doing Thor.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
Chris Hemsworth is a very Australian man. But when he's doing Thor, that's a believably posh English accent, or weird, but it's supposed to be like an English accent, and by and large it is. It's one of the more, like, obviously British. But, yeah.
Dude, he developed his character so well in those movies.
Oh, especially number 3.
Such good. Oh, so good.
Ragnarok.
Right?
So
good.
Nailed it. I love that film.
I think Ragnarok is still better than all the Marvel movies I saw last year.
It's probably on a par with Infinity War for me.
It would be pretty close, yeah.
Yeah. Black Panther. I remember this is going off topic. We did our rankings when we did our Avengers podcast, didn't we?
Yeah.
Black Panther has gone down my list a little bit because it was quite high originally, but I'm
pretty sure
it has since
I
dropped.
had Black Panther like 4th to bottom or something.
Yeah, you had it really low. It's definitely not that low, but it's certainly not as
Maybe
high
it's a
as
little
I
bit
put
higher.
it originally.
I
I had it at number
not rate.
6.
Okay.
I had it just above Guardians 2.
Ooh.
I know.
Yeah, Guardians 2.
I do love Guardians 2, to be fair.
Yeah.
I would now put it at about number 10, sort of on a par with Iron Man and the first Captain America.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen Aquaman yet?
No.
Neither have I.
I don't.
It's good, though.
I feel like I should, but I also don't care enough about the
Nothing's grabbing
DCU
you?
anymore.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's making me go, I really want to see that. Like, with Wonder Woman, they actually had people going, oh, this is actually a really good film, you should go and watch it. I didn't watch it in the cinema, but I got it on Blu-ray, and yeah, it's a good film. But, like, with Aquaman, they're like, the best I'm getting from people is, yeah, this is passable and watchable, and it's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
kind of wanted something a bit better than that, but, you know. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
yeah.
the same as you.
Back to Hades, anyway. Yeah, it's... the take it's having on Greek mythology is a very nice one. It's not an Americanized take on it. It's actually pretty, you know, true to the original mythology.
Mm-hmm.
So it portrays Hades pretty correctly because you're playing as Hades' son, who I cannot remember being in actual Greek mythology, but I may be wrong. But Hades is characterized very well. He's basically just this grumpy man who's stuck in their version of hell, and he's just become jaded, and he doesn't talk to the Olympians anymore. He doesn't reply to their messages.
Doesn't apply to the messages.
It doesn't. Like, there's literally one of the things in this, like, the story development is like all of the main character's searching through Hades' desk, and he's just like, there's nothing particularly of interest to what we're looking for, but there's like loads of unopened messages from Olympus. He obviously doesn't seem to care about these anymore. It's just like, wow.
What? This is so weird.
It's great.
Oh, man.
But yeah, like, the gameplay is
Definitely
solid. It's hack and slash, very much like
God of War, the old ones?
no, like Bastion, if you've ever played that, their first game.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of combat you're looking at, with like
Okay.
loads of different weapons, and you got buffs to go with the weapons as well. Like you get, they're called boons from each Olympian god. So like you can get from Poseidon or Athena or Zeus or whatever, and they all do different things, and like synergize with each other in different ways and do different things to different weapons. It's really well thought out combat system. I'm really enjoying it. And the roguelike elements actually are worked into the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're in Tartarus, which is Greek hell, every time you die, you just come straight back to to the start, because that's what happens to everyone when they die, pretty much. They come back to there. Did
this game, I'm watching it now, did this get announced at the Game Awards? Or
it got announced and released at the Game Awards. They were like, hey, this is a thing, and it's out now in early access on the Epic Games Store.
Do you think it differentiates itself enough from all the other games that are like this now, like Transistor, Bastion?
I think so.
It's kind of like a pretty saturated genre.
I think it separates itself well enough at the moment. It's like it is an early access, so it's got time to develop. But what it's doing at the moment is unique enough that I'm enjoying it. It does help that I really enjoy Greek mythology. I really like it. It's a really interesting subject, so that's kind of got me invested a bit more than maybe someone who isn't. But as a whole, I really like it. Wikipedia, thank you. Zagreus is the name of the main Zagreus is the name of the main character, and he is actually a character in Greek myth. There you go.
Are there like skill time cooldowns or anything like that?
Skills, not so much. Different weapons have cooldown, and your dash has a cooldown. Like, you can dash so far, but then you have to wait before you can move again. But you can upgrade how many dashes you can do at once. So you can upgrade yourself as you play through the game, as you die and keep going. So it's
This is cool. I just watched him die, and he's crawled out of like this bloodbath, and he's in line to, I guess, check into hell, and now I guess he's trying to check out of hell or something.
Pretty much.
That's pretty cool. Much right. Like that.
But yeah, it's a good game. It's well worth checking out.
Yeah, it looks cool.
If you want to be one of the people who waits for it to come out, expect it in about 2020.
Oh fuck!
Because Supergiant Games have they did an interview with Gama Sutra, one of them, and he said basically, and it is true based on the actual years, the turnaround for a Supergiant Games game is around 3 years. And their last full game, Pyre, came out in 2017.
So this thing's only like, what, 3/4 of the way done then, right?
Well, about 2/3. But like
2/3.
Pyre came out, and in this interview they said Pyre came out and they almost immediately started working on the concept for this game. Like, they immediately started having talks about how to work with it. So, yeah, wow. Expect it to be out late this year or maybe next year. But, yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to
In any case,
I don't know.
In any case, it's a good game at the moment. It's like, the only thing... Nice. Like, the only thing... Basically, the game is... that it's functionally perfect. You're not having, like, stupid glitches. It's not an early access in that sense. It's early access like things like Dead Cells and whatever, where they're just making a good game better and adding more stuff to it as time goes on to make it feel more complete. But like, even at the moment, I'm feeling like my money's been worth. It's been worth the money that I've spent on it. So, yeah.
Cool. Get around it.
Pretty much all I've been playing this week.
Can it be found anywhere else other than the Epic Games?
Not yet. They said in this other interview as well that launching in early access on more than one platform is difficult and annoying because they are a team of less than 20 people, and trying to patch out to loads of different places at once is a pain in the arse when you're that small of a team.
Fair
Especially when you've got big updates when you're in early access. So it's only on there now, but I think they have stated that once the game is either complete or more complete, then it will go to other platforms as well. So, probably be on Steam at some point. And I've also bought today Catherine Classic, which is it's a port of the PS3 Xbox 360 game Catherine onto PC. It's a very strange anime romance puzzle game, and it's really creepy and cool, but also weird.
Interesting.
and really difficult to get hold of normally. So this release was timely and useful.
Fine. All right, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Very nice.
Right.
Very nice.
That was 15 minutes. That's about right for that segment, so great.
Hades got a first impression.
Yeah. Let's move on to then the first story of the show. Ubisoft have had to apologise already this year. It's only 17 days in and they've had to apologise for something. Bodes well, doesn't it? Anyway. So, Assassin's Creed Odyssey has brought out some DLC. I mean, there was DLC anyway, but this is the latest episode of the DLC. Fuck. Wow. I've just read a really depressing thing about that game. And basically, they've put in a plot point in this DLC that just completely breaks one of the major selling points of Assassin's Creed to a point. Well, one of the major
player choice, right?
Yeah. One of the big selling points of this Assassin's Creed game in particular, but even the last couple, has been the amount of choice and agency you have as a player to do things. And yeah, in particular, this is like applies to romance in particular in this game because it's set in the Greek times as well, which is incredibly useful for this situation. You can have romantic relations with whomever you so choose normally in the game, which was a very common thing back in the ancient Greek times. They were very much about that kind of thing, which is great. I don't know why we went away from that. I don't know why it's taken us so long to be coming back to that. Anyway, however, I'm on the acronym. It's fine. So this DLC has come with a plot point that requires players to completely ignore the choices that they have made throughout the game and have a heterosexual relationship with... Oh, and a child. Fuck. Right, so the players are forced into a heterosexual relationship and having a child.
How dare they?
Regardless of the... Yeah. In a normal game, I'll get onto this in a minute, in a normal game this would be fine, but in this instance not so much. But it's regardless of what options they chose during the DLC or and this is the bit that I found, read and was like, what the fuck? Or have chosen previously during the 100+ hours of Odyssey's main storyline. 100+ hours? Are you fucking kidding me? The main storyline of Assassin's Creed Odyssey is 100+ hours?
Really? Fuck.
Are you fucking kidding me? That is insanity. Nobody has that amount of time.
CBF.
That is fucking bullshit. I could count the number of games that aren't Pokemon that I've spent more than 100 hours on my left hand.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Is that the main story?
That's the main story.
Jeez.
That is fucking ridiculous. Who knows? I remember watching the zero punctuation of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it was the first game that broke Yahtzee. Like, he got 40 hours in, which for most games would be more than enough. And he was like, all I could see ahead was 40 more hours of this bullshit, so I gave up. And I think that's fair.
Apparently it is good, though.
Yeah, but 100+ hours. I'm sorry, I don't have that time to dedicate to it.
Yeah.
At all.
Oh, neither do I. Like, fuck that. But, I mean, I've heard it is quite good.
Right.
I have also heard it's the poor man's, like, Witcher 3, though. So just go...
I'm going to say, I've heard very mixed things about it. Like, it depends what source you're coming from as to...
Yeah.
Right, so, games on my Steam library that I've played more than 100 hours of are 2. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth and Rocket League.
What the fuck, man?
I've played 109 hours of The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. It's a great game. I love it.
Jeez.
I hold no apologies for that. I think it's an outstanding game. Anyway.
I'm going to assume I have very few. It's got to be probably Minecraft, Terraria, StarCraft 2, and then I'm pushing it to think of anything after that.
Yeah, I'm pushing to think of anything on any other platform that I've played more than 100 hours of that isn't Pokemon. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Back to the main point, though. Here's why I have an issue with this. In most games, this would be fine because it's part of the story. So, everything else would be designed around that. So, if it's part of the story, then you make the rest of the game so that this doesn't become incongruous with everything else. But in this instance, the players are told, nay, encouraged to do whatever thou willst, which includes bonking someone of the same sex as you in the game. And to then have something come out and go, so you've chosen to do that, but fuck you, we're going to have you do something else instead. Completely out of nowhere, completely ruining any sense of immersion, if that matters to you.
Maybe you're just
completely ruining any character ideas that you've had about the character that you've chosen to play as. Fuck you, you're doing this instead.
Well, I think the reason they gave, wasn't it, like in their apology statement, was to do with preserving your lineage and the importance of it, correct?
The intention of this story was to explain how your character's bloodline had a lasting impact on the assassins, but looking through your responses, it is clear that we missed the mark. Because yes, I know, because the future plot in Assassin's Creed is still apparently a thing. God knows why. I know.
Reboot that shit.
So technically, you have to have a child because you're going through the blood memories of your ancestors in the future plot, so that you have to have a child. But
yep.
Why?
I mean, you don't have to force it into the game. It can be presumed by the player if it's not covered in the game.
I'm gonna say you can surely
in his life outside of the game
infer throughout context.
Yeah,
exactly.
You don't need to. I mean, my stance on this is like, yeah, they did something a little bit dumb, but I think the absurdity of it is that we're in a time now where the developer has to fucking apologize with this full statement. Like, it just seems a little bit all ridiculous. Like, it's a fucking video game, It is a video game, but at the same time, you need to be sometimes like this. This is a thing that it was. They fucked up, but it was a thing that was very easy to avoid fucking up. Yeah.
I could use the current year argument, but this isn't a thing that in 2019 we should be doing as a society in general. Like it's something that's so easily avoided, and they just didn't think about it while they were doing it.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Yeah, they just had I think it's just one of those moments. They had a brain fart. They
did. Yeah.
They just didn't think about it. Like, they just got a little bit like the game shipped. They're working on TLC. They got a little bit lax with like their kind of core principles of player choice, and this just accidentally happened. And people are rightfully pissed off because it's not about being forced to like marry a woman and have a child. It's I think it's more about infringing on player choice.
Yeah, when especially in this culture where we're told that player choice is the big thing, like especially when it comes to things like microtransactions, that's all about player choice.
Yeah,
but in this instance, apparently player choice doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So they could have handled it better, really.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's just they're just trying to save a bit of face with this apology. They are. I wonder if they're going to patch it out or change it.
I don't know if they'll patch it or change it, but we'll see. To be honest, this was the right move to apologise for it. I understand why some people were pissed off about it. I am slightly annoyed myself. Not to a massive extent. I mean, I don't really get that angry over video games because I'm not 5. But I think there's always going to be some people that take it too far and be like, this is why I hate video games, or this is why video games are the misogynistic crap or whatever.
I know.
The same as you have.
Down.
The same as you have some people going, this is why things are pandering to women. Because you have, like,
For guys.
the fucking toxic Doctor Who fans, after they cast Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, was fucking stupid. You can't have a woman as the Doctor. What will the little boys do for a role model now? The little boys have lost a role model because apparently you can't have a woman as a role model as a man.
What about all the girls that watch it?
Hey, what about all the girls that watch it? Now they have a role model. Or wait, could they not have had a role model when it was a man? I don't fucking understand people that just get offended by the most bullshit. About this
is that people now just automatically assume that when a decision like that is made for Doctor Who, it's for the reasons of pressure
Social
or just
justice.
for the sake of being progressive at all costs.
Yeah,
and
because
that's
they
why
did an episode
it.
about Rosa Parks, and like most sensible people in this, like when they were watching it, are like, you can criticize some of the elements of the plot. I think the plot itself was a little bit contrived in some areas, but I think overall it was handled very well, and it was a really good episode. But a lot of people are like, they're just doing it to be social justice-y. They're like, no. Like Rosa Parks in particular, that's a really important story, and that was a nice spin on it.
Yep.
They're not doing it to pander to the blacks or whatever the fuck you're on about.
Dude, people can't differentiate the difference anymore, and that's the most concerning thing. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's just spawning like this hate, which is just fucked up on so many levels. And it's crazy, man. Like, yeah, obviously there's clear examples where media's been affected just for the sake of just pushing like this agenda, but I think the majority of the time, like, let's look at The Last of Us 2. Do you really think that team wanted a gay female lead because of like external pressures? No, they fucking wanted.
They probably just wanted to. They just wanted to go, hey, look, our characters likes girls. There you go. That's probably what they thought.
They just wanted to write something different, man.
Because to most sane people in the world, that's not an issue.
Yeah.
Like, this person likes people of the same sex as them. Okay, cool. Moving on.
Okay.
That should be everyone's reaction. Or like, hey, this character is a woman. Great, let's move on. Why is anyone's reaction to anything like that anything other than, great, let's move on? I don't understand.
They get angry, dude. They get triggered. They think it's because of society.
Doesn't affect them.
I know. Well, I mean, they perceive their ideal world as being pressured into changing, right?
Men are getting angry over a fucking Razor advert telling them to be nice. Yeah. What is happening? How?
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing.
This Razor advert wants me to be a good person. How dare it? What?
Well, I think
what are you talking about?
That is that it's painting a picture that all men are like these evil, misogynist pigs, right?
No, it's not.
That's the issue people are taking with it. Like, I'm just saying.
People are being idiots. That's not what they're saying. They're saying be nice.
Making these ads. It's not about razor blades. It kind of flies in the face of their previous ads as well, where they're talking about being literally using women in a lot of senses as well.
Yeah, it's because times change, mate.
Well, I get that times change.
Also, they're not the only razor company to have done it. Lots of other razor companies have done similar adverts. It's just saying, be nice.
My point is not necessarily taking a particular side. My point is, like, we're just all getting crazy. On both sides.
I think I do believe it was forced. I think there was a reason that they put that in.
The
like
Gillette
whether
ad.
it was for it must have been for something. There was a particular reason. I think it's to support a particular charity. Maybe.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah, so it was just one-off ad that they did. It's not like they've got some huge overarching agenda that's going to be the only narrative they have going forward.
Yeah.
Fair. Like, I mean, I personally don't have an issue with the ad, but I can see why people are upset about it, because they're viewing it one way and other people are viewing it another way. But it's just, I just find the whole thing absurd that we have to have Razer ads about this, and that it has to even be a conversation. Just fucking don't be a cunt, be nice people. You know? Across the board, for everyone, to everyone. Let's all just be nice to each other.
So, as part of, this is a quote, this is completely unrelated to what we're talking about. As part of the Best a Man Can Be campaign, Gillette is committing to donate $1 million per year for the next 3 years to non-profit organizations executing programs in the United States designed to inspire, educate, and help men of all ages achieve their personal best and become role models for the next generation.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they're just doing a good thing, and people are taking that as bullshit.
Yep.
Anyway.
Just, people are overly sensitive, dude, on both sides of the fence.
Yep, they are. It's really annoying. Right, anyway, let's move on before
Let's get off
punch
the
my
politics.
monitor. Ubisoft made a poor choice. They've apologised for the poor choice. We'll see what happens in the next week regarding that decision. Whether or not they will change it or do something else, we don't know, but we will find out. And let's move on to something slightly more cheerful.
Yeah, off the politics.
We were talking about the Epic Games Store earlier with our discussion on Hades, and now we are coming back to it with them changing it up slightly to offer refunds. Well, they're offering a refund policy now. It's the same as Steam's, pretty much. In fact, it's almost exactly the same as Steam's. Yeah. Refunds for any reason within 2 weeks of purchase or under 2 hours. Well, and under 2 hours of gameplay. That means I can't get my refund on Hades now. Fuck. I don't want it. Oh dear.
I'm definitely not getting
yeah.
it for fucking. What was the other game you played 1,000 hours of?
Oh, Binding of Isaac. Yeah, I'm not getting the refund for that.
Yeah.
To be fair, I bought that game about 4 or 5 years ago now. So.
Fuck.
Oh, it's an old game. It's been out for ages.
Hmm.
But yes, right. So,
Good job, Epic Games Store.
yes, good job,
On
Epic
the
Games
money.
Store. That is the correct thing to do. You need, well, especially in the EU, you need a refund policy because there's many consumer rights laws around that. One of which is that you need to be able to refund digital goods. A policy which Nintendo are flagrantly breaking still and are not being punished for, which I find annoying.
Pricks.
Because you still can't get refunds on Switch games. Even if it doesn't work properly, you still can't get a refund.
I mean, the only thing that I could think even remotely leans in Nintendo's defense on that, just to play devil's advocate, is there's not many Switch games that are broken, right? In comparison to Steam
WWE
games.
2K19 came out in a completely broken state.
That's fair.
And
That's one
they've
game.
been refusing refunds on it.
Oh, refusing? That's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, they've been refusing to refund people on it.
Fair, eh?
So, yeah, not good. Anyway, yes, Sergey... Oh, God.
Sergey?
Galliankin, whatever. That guy who works for Epic Games, I believe? No? Maybe? I think. Yes, he works for Epic Games in some capacity and does other things. In a little tweet thread, he was like, talking about payment method, because the price on the Epic Games Store is just, it's in dollars, in US dollars. It was. No, they don't have every currency on there. So if they don't have your currency, the price is displayed in US dollars. In the UK, they have the currency set up, so it's in pounds for me.
Right.
Cool. So if your currency isn't on there, it's going to be in US dollars, but you'll pay in your local amount, so you won't get charged. Because
Well, at
you
least they're
get
doing
charged if you
fucking
do a currency that's not your own by your bank. And then they
sooner than Steam.
What do you mean?
Well, I was talking to Mark the other day. Apparently, we only got localization the other day in terms of like conversion to AUD for Steam.
Yeah, some of it's been a bit. Yeah,
Like,
Australia's.
what's
I don't
taking
know
so long?
why it's taken that so long, but yeah, I'm sure
I
there's a
know.
reason somewhere. And then after that, he said, we've also changed our refund policy, unlimited refunds within 14 days of purchase under 2 hours played. Team is working on a self-service solution, but for now, you have to go through the player support, which means you have to get a ticket and have someone manually check it.
That's going
to
be
refund it for
after
you.
A while.
It'll probably be tedious, but they're like you said, they're working on an automated solution, which will be easier in the long run.
Well, at least they're like doing this now, and it is going to be tedious, but they know they have to do it, so they're just doing it.
Yeah, they're doing it now. They're getting it out the way while everything's young, and they don't have as much of an install base as they probably will do. But I wanted to use this as a jumping off point just to talk about how much they're doing to make Steam look shit.
I was about to say, how do you think this is going to do in the long run in comparison to Steam or other services?
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they're doing really quite well.
Their models in terms of rewarding publishers and developers is already better than Steam.
Yeah, because they are. Yeah, the cut that they take is significantly less than Steam and even Good Old Games offer for them, for their clients. And they're also really good on at the moment at least, they're really good on the consumer end because they are giving, well, they've got the right attitude in regards to refunds and consumer advocacy, but they're also offering free games. They're offering a free game every 2 weeks. There's no strings attached to that either. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just get your account. I always turn off email notifications and everything for that because I want nothing to do with that. And you just get a free game. Like the current one is What Remains of Edith Finch. And the previous one was Super Meat Boy, which is a great game. And the one before that, the first one was Subnautica. Like these are not... Super Meat Boy is not a big game, but the other ones, they're like really sort of well-known, pretty decent games. So they're not faffing around with what they're offering.
They've definitely taken a page out of the PlayStation and Xbox book in terms of rewarding players for being a part of the service.
Being in their ecosystem, yeah, exactly.
Which is good. People love that stuff. And they don't have to do it either, like it's
just... No, they don't have to offer people... They don't have to offer the community anything. No, they are, and that's the correct thing to do.
Yeah. Which is great.
And for the moment, at least it's working. Like, it may well be completely different in a year's time where they've got their market share and they're like, fuck it, who cares anymore? But at the moment, at least, I'm saying that's a they're offering a pretty sweet deal to come over to their platform.
I would love to see some kind of like indie spotlight. Like perhaps they could offer indie games for free, but actually reimburse the developers. Obviously, they're not missing out, but just to really put like there's ways they can maintain that Steam in terms of giving away games. There's so many good indie games now. Like they could totally give some away, reimburse the developer, and have it.
Well, yeah, you got to consider how much money Fortnite's bringing them in. They could probably afford it.
Oh, absolutely, dude. But yeah, there's so many things they could do to kind of keep that Steam rolling in terms of, no pun intended, of giving away.
Speaking of Steam, because what they're doing at the moment completely steamrollers Steam. In terms of what's like, Steam offers a good summer sale and a winter sale, and it offers a large library of games, but at the moment, it's a too large library of games that is full of stuff that no one would ever possibly want.
A lot of shit.
Yeah, you are like, especially in terms of indie games, you are gonna have to sift through the shit to find good things on Steam nowadays.
How do you think Epic Games will combat that? Do you reckon they're just going to have to review these games one by one? Because
by the looks of it, at the moment, they are having a manual review process, because I think the game that's on here at the moment that's been rated lowest by reviewers is probably Darksiders 3, which didn't get amazing reviews. But everything else that's actually out on here is pretty damn good.
Yeah. That's the right way to do it. Like, you're making money hand over... I'm going to use Steam as a comparison. Like, they're making hand over fist money. Why can't you review every game that goes onto your service?
Exactly. Like, the way Steam have handled this is just bollocks. Everything they've
fuck
done
off.
since Greenlight has just made everything worse.
It's lazy, dude. It's lazy.
Yeah, like you gotta consider the amount of money that Valve make in a year, and they say that they can't do manual reviews. Like,
fuck off.
I do not believe them in the slightest. I'm sorry.
No, just they want to make
companies making significantly less money than Valve are doing that exact same thing. Like, you got Good Old Games for GOG Galaxy, their client and their store. Everything on there is like, it's carefully selected. Like, there's a fair amount of stuff on GOG, but it's all stuff that's actually gone through some sort of approval process, as opposed to just gone, here you go, this is on the store now for no reason.
Yep, we didn't look at this, it's early access, they want your money. Enjoy.
Exactly.
Did you say earlier that there's a subscription service or something like that for Epic Games? That's why they're doing the free games?
No.
It's just you get free games if you start purchasing that?
You just get free games. If you have an account, you get free games. That's awesome, it. Dude. That's the best way to do it. There's no strings attached. It's not like PS Plus where you have to sign up to a thing or Game Pass. It's just these people are being nice and giving away games.
They're doing one better.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
They're doing it in the right amount as well. They're doing it one every 2 weeks is probably the sweet spot.
Yep.
Because I think if you're doing it any more frequently than that, it kind of loses its impact and it looks a bit like, well, what the fuck's going on there?
Take your games.
Yeah, and then people will be like, well, what the fuck's going on with that then? That's a bit sketchy.
Yeah.
And then any less than that, people will be like, well, you're barely giving anything away at all. What's the fucking point?
Could you personally see Epic Games doing anything interesting, like, for example, like a Game Pass or anything like that? Like, just trying
I don't think I'd want them to at the moment.
Okay. Not yet, because the catalogue's not there?
The catalogue isn't there at the moment. What they've got on there is strong, but there's not enough of it to justify something like a subscription model.
Yep, that's fair.
But some of the stuff that they do actually have coming on here, particularly either exclusively or timed exclusively, is pretty damn good. I know, for example, they've got Journey, the PS3 game, is coming to...
That's phenomenal.
That is coming to Epic Games Store exclusively.
Nice.
On PC. That's the only place that's going to be available. Super Meat Boy Forever, the Super Meat Boy sequel, is going to be coming out first on Epic Games' store. I know that. There's a game called Satisfactory. It looks like a really fun game, and it's by the people who made Goat Simulator. But it's like it's like a cross between it's a factory builder, so it's like Factorio, but it's in 3D and you're on an alien planet still, and it looks fucking gorgeous. Like, it's really nice looking.
What is this, a simulation game or something?
Yes and no.
Okay, what was it called? I'm gonna check that out. It sounds interesting.
Satisfactory.
All right.
Yeah, that is a really, really fun-looking game. I'm really looking forward to that. You can actually sign up for the alpha. I tried to do it on my email address, but you can also attempt to sign up for the alpha, like, through here. And I want to play this game soon because it looks really good.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I really like about the Epic Games and their store as well, or just their business like practice and decisions, is that they're also, I think there was either a rebate or a discount on the engine as well, the Epic's Games engine.
Yes, I believe, yeah, if you're a developer and you decide to sell your game through Epic Games Store, then you can get a reduced price on Unreal Engine stuff, I believe.
It wasn't an astronomical amount, but anything helps, especially when you're a small developer.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like how, I think it's cool that they're leveraging one asset to strengthen another asset. Like, it's
because they're going, hey, you want to sell your thing through us? If you do, we'll give you a discount on things that might make your games better.
Yep.
or at
still
least
make money on
help
their
improve
engine,
them.
put their engine out there more. Like, it's just smart.
Yeah. Well, I've actually noticed, I didn't know, on the Unreal Marketplace for buying assets, they actually have a section called Free for the Month.
Ooh.
And it's just like they have a selection of assets that are just given away, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you at all recently, since we're on the topic of digital stores, have you had a look at the Nitro Discord one at all?
I've looked at it. It does look good. I just can't afford it, really, at the
That's
moment.
fair enough. I mean, I was
Especially
automatically...
with cars.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I was already paying the subscription service just to...
Yeah.
Back in the day when we were sending huge files over Discord. So I automatically had it. But yeah, there was actually quite a large free game section as well. There was quite a lot.
Do you just
and there was
get
some good games.
Is it just like a list of games that you have access to, like Game Pass?
Yep.
Or
Literally,
Oh,
that's
cool.
exactly what it's like. So you literally just click install and away you go. And I don't ask me what the games are off the top of my head. Like, a lot of it was smaller indie stuff.
Yeah,
There
so
were
it's
a couple
not
of bigger
like
ones. I think Darksiders was
Yeah.
actually one of them. But yeah, like, dude, fucking free games, man. Like, you can't complain no matter what it is.
Yeah, I'm having a look on the ones that you just get for free.
Mm.
Quite a few
also-
of these are
Yeah, it is.
well rated.
Yeah.
Like 20XX is one of the best rated games on Steam.
Mhm.
It's like the roguelike Mega Man kind of thing.
Yep.
Tooth and Tail's a really good RTS. Got Hob, which Max enjoyed, if I remember rightly. Kingsway is a really fun little, like, it's DOS based. It's like you're playing in a DOS game. It's weird. The End is Nigh is good. Crawl is supposed to be good. You get the remaster of Darksiders, which is quite cool.
Yep.
Project High Rise is great. It's like Sim Tower, but modern. It's good. That's a great game. Yeah, there's a lot of good shit on here. Psychonauts. Yes, mate. Bloody love
Quality.
Psychonauts. Yeah, for a tenner a month, that's actually not bad. Yeah, it's
Long
not
story
as
short.
good as Game Pass because most of it's,
No.
there's not a lot of big titles on here, but, for what it is, that's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing some interesting stuff
Yeah,
with their
a lot of people are
services.
doing interesting things that should be making Steam worry, but I don't know if they will. It'd be
Well,
what I'm going to be very interested to see is Steam's response to this over the
if
over the
anything
coming
at all.
months.
Yeah.
They need
It's
to respond with
interesting, isn't it?
something, otherwise they're
they're
going to
like-
look like utter shit.
Cunts. Their footprint is just so huge, though. Like,
It
people are
is.
so accustomed to using it. It could be like, say what you want. Samsung's not better, but Samsung and Apple being the big dogs of the mobile market, like, there's clear flaws with both products, especially Apple and how they treat their consumers in just price gouging, removing headphone jacks. But people just go back, man. They just go back because it's just what it is. Their footprint's too big. Their market share's too big. People just do it.
I feel like Apple's market share isn't as big as it was, though.
Probably, yeah. Flattened out a
I
little
feel like Apple in particular, I feel like they are dropping the ball, and a lot of people are maybe starting to realise
bit.
that.
Starting, yeah.
Yeah,
But you know what I mean,
so-
though? Like, it's so hard to get out of that
Oh,
cycle.
it's one of those.
You've
It's
owned
like, yeah,
6
when
phones
Windows
before
8
it.
came out, everyone hated Windows 8, but
Yeah.
Windows is still the most popular
Yeah.
operating system around.
What are you going to use, if
Exactly.
what I mean? If you're not using Windows.
But then this may be a completely different, it might be a completely different set of goalposts because this is a games store.
Yeah.
So it might be, we might just be talking out of our ass for all we know. But
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. But, just talking about, like, kind of how hard it is to, at times, break
it's-
away from what you use and know.
yeah, exactly. So I think what's going to be interesting is, if Epic Games' store keeps up this and keeps up its good faith that it's earned so far. And what's also going to be interesting is what Valve's response will be to this, because I don't feel like they're in a situation where they can do nothing, because their goodwill has long run dry.
I
at
bet
the
you they'll
po-
just
at
give
this
out free
point.
games. That'll be it.
Yeah.
One other little interesting bullet point of this in terms of changing service, kind of tying into leaving what we know, is that people may also not necessarily want to fracture their games library too. I know that's
There's
a big
that. I
pet
mean, I
peeve.
always find it a bit annoying to have. I've now got there's a lot of game clients.
Yeah, exactly.
Out there.
People hate it.
Like, I don't like having Origin, Uplay. Twitch technically has a game client because they give away games with Twitch Prime. GOG Galaxy, Steam, Uplay, and now Epic Games. That's a lot. Oh, and Battle.net.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of clients to have to fit into one place.
Yeah,
and Viveport as well, if you have a Vive.
This is still why I try to buy a physical as much as possible, because that's just, I know, like, that's just where the bulk of my library is, and that's where I want to keep it, you know, because I know it's so
That's
hard
fair.
keeping track of all these different services and all this shit, and it's just, you gotta remember your passwords, and there's all these issues with the services, and just, you know what I mean, like, it's just,
Yeah,
gets messy quick.
it can do. But, still, I think Epic Games are doing a good job. I'm excited to see what they do in the future. But on that note, let us move along to the final story of the show. Change of plan, we're wrapping up the show. The last story is A, not completed yet, and B, such a big fucking clusterfuck that I could not possibly do it in a sensible amount of time. So, yeah.
Can we tease and count that?
It's the Randy Pitchford story. Oh boy. Yeah, if you want to look up what's going on at the moment, it's interesting, but I kind of, A, this is going to take too long, and B, I want to wait until it's all, you know, a bit more has happened about it. Because, I mean, a lot's happened already, but there's more to happen, surely.
Very messy. Lots of accusations.
Exactly. Yeah. So, that brings us then to the end of this episode of the GameCast Newscast, and I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, and share whatever you fancy. And our social links are in the description with a link to our Discord where you can join in some chat with us. I'd like to thank Sully for joining me for this episode.
Our pleasure.
And I believe next episode I will have Joe Chip on, if I am correct.
Very cool.
And I will try and get someone else on with that. Exactly. So
hit Max up.
I might try and hit Max up, but the Joe's always free in the morning, so that'd be inconvenient probably for Max. Yeah. Oh well. I'll work it out. I'll get Max on at some point soon. He'll be back. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching and or listening. If you're listening on SoundCloud, come over to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, because we have news, reviews, podcasts, and lots of great content. Pretty much all of it original as well. Oh dear, couldn't miss that.
We love you, Adam.
Oh dear. We had someone comment this morning, and I think it's got deleted. They were just like, they were mocking Mark's pronunciation. Oh, you deleted it. Mocking Mark's pronunciation of something, and I was just like, why?
Are you serious? And I love it how he's just spelt it L2 pronunciate.
I know.
What a dickhead.
Oh dear.
So good.
Oh boy.
Maybe he's just taking the piss. I don't know. I was like, whatever. I'm too tired for this bullshit. Mark doesn't need to see this. See you later.
Exactly. Anyway, that's the show for today. And yeah, we will see you next time for Pocket Edition or something else and other things that are hopefully coming up in the future.